for great adult children.
Awesome.
It's definitely in the community. He did run for Senate 2 years ago, what?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So he was...
Let's talk about the founding of the Distinguished Gentleman's Club.
Absolutely. So about 8 years ago.
You said you're a mother. So how many children?
I have 5 kids.
Okay.
And where they started saying that I was their African American, and they got this from our president. You know, they were voted.
What were you doing when you were out there? The first or the second time? Before the first time.
So I was in and out.
Good. Awesome. So that really is a great place to transition.
And who is sitting across from me or beside me is never going to sway that.
Listen, man. One, I'm not gonna cry on this episode.
Yeah.
I made it through all of these episodes. I think I've cried once in Congress. What are the things that you're most proud of accomplishing? You know, as a congressman and as whip.
Real Talk with Ray John.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back. Hello, world. Welcome back to Real Talk with Rajon, when nothing's off limits. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that. I am your host, Rajon Lewis. Now, here on Real Talk with Rajon, everything's debatable. So on any given week, we can be discussing anything from sports to music to politics. You name it, we'll discuss it. I have to stop my intro because today is a very special day. Today, history happened. Shout out to brand new president, newly inaugurated president, Joseph R. Biden, and first female, first African-American, first Asian-American, Black woman, female Vice President Kamala Harris. Give it up. Where's my applause? I'm sorry. I had to do this before I got started because I would be remiss if I didn't do that. But welcome back to Real Talk with Rajon, when nothing's off limits. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. I am your host, Rajon Lewis. Now, here on Real Talk with Rajon, everything's debatable. So in any given week, we can be discussing anything from sports to music to politics. You name it, we'll discuss it. Now, for those who are new to the show, Real Talk with Rajon also has a goal of shining a light on the great things and the great people that are right here in the Low Country and beyond. I know we talk about everything going on all across the world, but I'm telling you that right here in the Low Country, we have people doing amazing, amazing work and making changes right before our eyes. And tonight, I have a very special guest. We have comedian, we have mother, we have phenomenal woman, Miss Dede Kennedy. Thank you for joining us. So, thank you so much for joining me, Miss Dede.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to tell you, it was the thrill of my life on the social media to have the local celebrity title added to. But oh my gosh, it's great to be here, and you are doing phenomenal things in the community. Oh my gosh.
Praise God. You know.
Yes.
Praise God. Thank you.
Yes.
So for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Dede Bishop Kennedy. I am a native of Charleston and in Mount Pleasant. So I'm an OG from the MP. Anyway, I'm from here. And so this is home. And we talked about that earlier. This is Charleston's home for you too. And it gets under your skin. And like what you were saying, your family hasn't left. And I will leave here with being drug and screaming and nails dug in if Lord willing we have to go. But anyway, so this is my home. I am, like you said, I'm a mother of 2 boys. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old. I'm married to my husband, Sean, who is a saint. He's a dream. I mean, he's the best thing that ever happened to me. But so yeah, and I work in a restaurant on Sullivan's Island. And like you were saying, we met at the Spotlight Awards. I believe it was the 2019. I know you were an award recipient. Yes, you were, for the Angel Alliance. Miss Deborah Powell Anderson she's incredible. And I can't say enough about her. And you know, she would say, I love you, and there's nothing
you can do about it.
And I mean, I can't even, I am is such a treasure. I don't know why she's taken such a likeness to me, but I love it. And I will soak in all that love from her. But anyway, long and short. So, yeah, I'm a comedian. I've been doing stand-up comedy. I started in 2012. And then kind of backed off caring for my mom. And then my boys were real little, and I had to make a decision because I wasn't really improving in comedy. I was just kind of stinking it up. And anyway, you know, that it's those guys that are working comedians and people that are getting out after it, grinding night after night, are actually improving. And I was not. I had too many other obligations. And so
You're funny.
Well, I love you because listen, at the last Spotlight Award, I'm like, I'm dead up here, but then I would hear you go, oh, and I'm like, that's my man.
Because you were funny. Like I thought you were really, really funny. So let's go back to the beginning. All right. So when did you decide, like, originally, okay, I want to get into comedy?
All right, honestly, so it was either February or March of 2012. I'm just laying it out. I had a dream. I dreamed one night I was on stage. And I wanted to, and I was going to be a comedian. I've always been a funny person. Like growing up, I was like craziest, funniest, and things like that in school. I don't know if they do superlatives anymore, but anyway, long and short, I've always been able to make people laugh. And I think before I knew the Lord, it was kind of like a coping mechanism because I didn't know who I was, but I could connect and make you laugh. But now I think that is a gift from the Lord to be able to put people at ease and lighten their load and bring some joy. Long and short, I had this dream and I woke up and I told my husband, I said, I want to do stand-up comedy. And he was like, well, go for it. And so I had a friend from high school who is, he's been doing comedy since we were out of high school. And I reached out to him on Facebook and he happened to have a comedy show going on at, I think it was Market Street Saloon or something in North Charleston. And and he had always encouraged me even a long time ago to try. And I didn't. Like, long and short, he gave me an opportunity. And then I was like, all right, I think I want to try this. And so it just really was great to be able to kind of have opportunities to go and try to make people laugh. And so that was that. And then, you know, it's gone into churches and things like that. So with women's groups, etc.
So for those who don't know what it takes when you're like thinking about being a comedian, thinking about getting into that kind of game, what are the things that they should be considering?
Shoot. I think just do it. I mean, as far as like
what should they be considering? Should they be like working on like their writing skills,
yes,
or maybe their improvisation skills? Like what are the things that you make somebody a good comedian?
I think writing, and that's something that I'm going to pursue this year to invest more in the craft, because there's a craft and an art to it that I am not nearly versed enough in, you know? And so there is, I think writing, and there's something else that I need to avail myself to as well. There's lots of different groups of comedians, little pockets around town. So I know that I work in the evening. I can give you 35,000 excuses why I can't go, but I work in the nighttime mostly. But there are open mics, and get involved in that group of comedians, you know, is what I would say. And so they can kind of, you know, avail yourself to be sharpened and honed and get better. And that's something that I've got to do this year is avail myself to some sharpening and training. So just being honest.
So in addition, so I know a lot of comedians also do like do stuff like acting and stuff like that. Have you looked into acting or anything like that?
That would be my dream. I have been an extra a couple of times
on the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, Righteous Gemstones. Were you?
No.
Oh. Anyway, so yeah, but then it's like this too, Rashawn, like we were talking about earlier about being so self-serving and self-centered. I'm like, man, I ain't got this kind of time to be standing around from 6 a.m. until 10 at night. But anyway, yes, I know that there are, but I know that Theater 99 too, for the improv aspect that you were talking about, but that's not something that interests me as much as, you know, like a team thing doesn't interest me as much to do that. I did have an opportunity to just sit in with a group back around that 2012, 2013 time, and try it. But it's not my favorite thing to do.
Okay. So do you study comedians?
I watch comedians, but then what happens for me is then I pretend like their stuff is my stuff, and I am not. And so I have to take it at a distance because, I'm getting old and I can't remember things. And then I'm like, that was hilarious what happened to me, and it didn't, didn't happen. So I do have to. I do have to watch what I take in because I don't want to copy and be a hack. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it would be hysterical if you just stood up on the stage and told a Kevin Hart joke.
Right. Yeah. That would have been, like,
right.
Right.
You gonna learn today, like, hold up, what?
You gonna learn. All right.
This lady, she's just stealing jokes.
I know, and that's really frowned upon, and I don't know at this high level like that,
Yeah.
That's not somewhere we want to go. But I do but I'm also, again, I don't like a lot of just vulgar, smutty comedy just for the. And I mean, I'm as guilty as the next person. Someone says something real foul and crazy, and it shocks me, and I will laugh because I'm like, I cannot believe that person just said that. Right. But my tolerance for taking that in is so much lower now, and so I have something I got to work out in my own brain with that too, because just like what we were talking about prior, sorry guys, I missed. Everybody is coming from where they think they need to be coming from.
Yeah.
And so for me, Dede Kennedy, I don't come from there that just saying all the F-bomb, this, that, and doing it. And it reminds me of that Eddie Murphy a million years ago, Delirious with the Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby. Okay, well, I don't know why I brought Bill Cosby up because he doesn't ruin his whole legacy. But anyway, the filth and the foul.
So what comedians do you are you like are like your go-tos?
I love Leanne Morgan. I don't know if you know who she is.
I heard that name. I don't know her like.
Yeah, and then I love this guy named Brian Regan. I like Michael Jr.
I've heard of Brian Regan.
Yeah, he's hilarious. And I like Michael Jr. and I like Tim Hawkins. Who else? I like Jim Gaffigan too. I think he's really funny.
I know Jim Gaffigan.
And I don't have too many more. And then I don't have too many other female comedians. I really like Leanne Morgan. Just because I relate to her. She's a mother of 3 kids, and she talks about stuff that I am dealing with, and so I really relate to her. And I think Brian Regan is so funny.
Yeah. So the thing that I noticed about like your comedy style is you're like definitely more like talking about the ins and outs of your life, like your motherhood and going to work and that whole thing. Can you talk about like how what happens? Like how does it go from it happens in my life to now it's on stage and it's a joke? Like, is there a process for you?
Not for me. I think mostly it's just nobody else really wants to hear about all that foolish. You know what I mean? Like when I, talked about being so frustrated with my child and whipping him in the neck with the towel, it was like, I don't know. It just seems I got to believe other people are just that frustrated. I feel like what I think is funny and kind of a funny story I like to share in that. And the process is just for me, it's trying to make it concise. And so it's like, because when I was starting to do stand-up comedy way back in 2012, Tony Kemp used to own, it's this gentleman who's here in town. He used to own the comedy club in North Charleston long time ago. He had really big names come through, long and short. That's what he would help me occasionally review videos and go, he's like, you're telling a story. You got to get to the punchline. So anyway, I just think things that I think are funny, I just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people are crazy and I'm the ringleader and they just amaze me how.
Do you write your jokes out?
I do. I'm on a legal pad with a pen.
Who does anybody review your jokes?
No. That's probably where I'm really falling short, but it's weird. It's like I would rather stand up like in front of a group of strangers and say something than me and you sit down and be vulnerable. So I don't know what kind of illness that is, but it is. It's a real thing.
It's comedian syndrome.
It's got to be because
we're gonna diagnose it tonight. We just
that's
created
it. It's called
comedian syndrome.
Yeah, but I feel like for me too. Like I was looking this weekend. My husband and I were talking. He was watching a special about Ron White, and Ron White. I think this is kind of going back to the craft of comedy. You know, all these successful comedians, even, you know, Dave Chappelle. Well, Dave Chappelle is just amazing. But like, so I guess the last thing I saw Dave Chappelle do, he wasn't doing any of his old jokes. But people, you know, have their classic, their gold.
Come back, their callbacks.
Right. Yeah. And I for some reason feel like that's not, it gets stale, but that can't be the truth. So anyway, that's why I'm saying I got to get
It all depends on who you are. It depends on how you do it, right? So like if you're Dave Chappelle, like Dave Chappelle could go into Clayton Bigham's like anytime, Clayton Bigsby anytime he wanted to. Like he could be on stage and just be like, "White power," and like people would like crack up and die.
Right.
But if it's like, you know, Urkel, you know, Jaleel White, and he gets on stage, did I do that? It's like, dude, come on, man. Like,
right. No, it's over.
Do something. Right? But I think that's also the genius of Dave Chappelle. Like when I think about, you know, what makes Dave Chappelle so relevant is one, Dave Chappelle makes you think. I like comedians that make me think. Yes. Yeah. Like, okay, so I'm gonna laugh. Like Chris Rock has mastered this.
Love it.
Dave Chappelle has mastered this. Like the ability, I'm gonna talk about something that's probably gonna be controversial. That's probably gonna, you know, make be like you're gonna learn stuff, but then you're also gonna laugh because it's so true that it's like, this is funny, but it's also true. And that Dave Chappelle has mastered that. I can't think of any comedian that does that as well as he does.
Me neither.
But I love your comedy style because of the way, like, no, like seriously, because I think that there are like levels to it. Like I think there's levels to it. And I think that situationally, like sometimes it's just good to hear a mom telling mom stories.
Yeah.
Like you were telling mom stories, and I thought about my kids when you were talking about it. I was like, yes, my kids.
Yes, and it's like, yeah, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, just to talk about like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, those guys, I mean, the courage and the intelligence and the genius.
Yeah.
I think it might be down in here there's a possibility mine is buried in here somewhere, but those guys are amazing. I mean, you know, unbelievable.
So for you, what does success look like in the field of comedy? Like for you, what if Dede Kennedy is successful in comedy, what does that look like for you? Okay,
so like I'm gonna tell you like my biggest and then like, okay, so like for me, like my dream would be like to be just, you know, have a great, I would love to be able to make a living doing comedy. That would be amazing. That being said, like I've thought about it too. Like I over the time of watching people do comedy and from the time when I dropped out because I wasn't really growing at all, it's like, what's the end game? And like you've got some of these guys that are road warriors and they are making a living doing comedy, but they're on the road all the time. So it's like, I guess I should pump the brakes on said make a living doing comedy because I want it all on my terms. I don't know that I would be a good road comic. I don't want that lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, I'm having a ball. Like I am tickled just to be able to even, honestly, to have, when you were laughing at the most recent spot, to hear one person laugh, I mean, I know that sounds probably whatever, but I mean, it's the truth. It's like, okay, somebody gets it. And then I'm like, okay, that was the part that was awkward. It was worth the laugh. But then after, when I talked to some folks, you know, Miss Deborah's brother, and when we were leaving, he was saying that was funny, you know? And so I was like, good. And some people are just not belly laughing out.
Right. Some people don't laugh out loud, but I also, so for me, one, I'm a performer by heart. Like before I was doing anything else, I was singing and dancing and stuff like that. So I know how important the audience is for the performer. And I know that when you're a performer and you're on stage, hearing people clap makes you dance better. It makes you sing with more confidence.
Right.
And when you get more confidence, you can perform better.
Correct.
And so even as a comedian, being able to hear that, it affects you, because you may be up there like, I'm bombing, like this is awful.
Dead.
But like I thought, like but I genuinely just thought you were funny. I thought you told funny jokes, and I like your comedy style, because I don't think that I think everybody expects like all comedians to be Chappelle, or all comedians to be Kevin Hart, or all comedians to be Jim Gaffigan, or to be Amy Schumer, who I don't understand at all. But okay.
And I'm not trying to hate, but that's the same thing. I don't. Whatever. That means guess what? She's not talking about me. She's wherever she is doing her with Taylor Swift.
But that's also why I asked you, like, what does success look like for you? Because a lot of people assume that for every comedian, success is having Comedy Central specials and traveling around the world and doing 37 shows a month. Like, some people think that that's success for all comedians, but I think that we all chart our own course based on based on what we want internally. And I know you love your family, you love being with your kids, and you love being with your husband. So like being on the road all the time probably wouldn't benefit you a whole lot.
No, I don't think
that a little bit.
That would not make me personally happy. Now, because I'm so grateful for my family. I mean, not that people who are on the road are not saying they are not.
Call them out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They don't even care about
they don't even care about their kids.
They don't care about their mom. They don't care about their wife. They don't care, but I mean, I know that would not satisfy me. Maybe if I didn't have those pieces of my life that do bring, to me, this is just icing on the cake, honestly. Now, I would be lying if I said I would not like to be, I don't know though. I don't know, because all right, I'm really trying to be thoughtful and honest. I don't know if being a famous person is all that, because there's a whole bunch that goes along with that based on, especially these days with social media and get access to everybody's failures and cancel culture and all that stuff. I don't know that I'm up for that fight. So, I mean, my little world of just, trying to talk about things that make people happy, or, talking about the Lord, or talking about, you're not alone when your kid, lies right to your face with the haircut, like right here, saying I did not cut my hair when the hair is obviously cut. It's classic. I mean, that happened this afternoon. I'm like, son, did you cut your hair? Not the big one, not the one you saw with the good hair, but the little one. I'm like, did you cut your hair? And he goes, no. And I'm like, you cut your hair. So my husband had to take him to go get it fixed. And I mean, he couldn't really be mad because we made it 11 years with nobody really cutting their hair. I mean, we've got a good run on keeping our hair straight. So, but it's just, it's just that's the kind of stuff about parenting I wasn't prepared for. But success for me, being able to live with myself. Yeah. Like stuff that I would say on stage. Like if you're talking about performing, being able to hold my head up and know that if my kids heard me say that, I wouldn't feel remiss. I wouldn't be embarrassed. Or if my preacher was sitting in the audience, would I cringe? I mean, that's important to me. I don't want to ruin my testimony on purpose, because listen, I do that without trying.
No, but I think you're absolutely right. Like, people ask me about my show and they're like, what do you want to do with it? And I'm like, I want to create a show that any of my students, my former students can turn on, my like anybody could turn on, and it's really see me and it would be like, oh my gosh, like, Mr. Lewis, I can't believe you're talking like that. Like, I feel like, to me, the integrity of who I am as a person is so much more worth more. And there's shortcuts that you can take to reach certain levels of success, but I don't want that.
Right.
So like, I don't aspire to be famous. Like, I do not want to be a famous person. I don't like. I don't aspire to fame, because like you said, fame comes with so much. Like, fame comes with people feeling like they own you. Like, oh, you're famous and I saw you on television, so now you have to stop eating dinner with your family to sign this autograph for me. Or you're in the, like Eminem talked about the fact, like, going to the bathroom and people coming into the bathroom and trying to give him that signed autograph while he's trying to take a number 2. It's like, dude, I just want to use the bathroom in peace. I just want to eat a sandwich with my daughter. Like, that's all I really want. And so I never really aspire to that kind of thing. So I always am interested in finding out when people do things that could possibly bring them fame, how important to them fame is. So thank you for answering that.
You're welcome. And I feel like too, I've had the opportunity, you know, just as we go on in life and to encounter, you know, we'll run into celebrities occasionally. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I have to really check myself, because I'll be like, Darius Rucker, oh my God, you know, which now he lives in Nashville, probably glad I'm not trying to wave him down, but I mean,
it's me, Dede.
It's me. Ah, you know me. You know, but
it's in the third row at the concert.
I know. And it's like, I mean, I have to check myself, but it is weird. That whole aspect is weird. And you know, yeah, I don't think I care about being famous, honestly, because I also, you know, like things my way. I want to do what I want when I want. And then I don't know how that would be now, but I would be nice to get a big bag of cash for something. That would be great. You know, if somebody was like, you are hilarious. Here's a
hilarious
bag of cash.
Here is a bag of money.
I'm like, G-Wagon, get a little. You know? I think that's why the Lord doesn't let me have a big bag of cash, because I'd be bougie, baby. I would be bougie.
You bougie? We'll be okay. All right, cool. So Comedy Central sees you at the Spotlight Awards, and they decide, we want to sign Dede Kennedy. We're gonna give her a $3 million contract. What's the first thing Dede buys?
G-Wagon. G-Wagon and
oh man.
G-Wagon. No, I don't know. Yeah, probably a G-Wagon.
I would not buy a G-Wagon.
You would. I know nobody likes them. I like them.
One, I have no idea what to do with a G-Wagon.
Oh,
and I don't. So my thing with cars, and sorry, we're just talking. I like it.
Go.
My thing with cars is like, regardless of how much money I spend on the car, it's gonna do the exact same thing.
True.
So I'm not gonna spend $80,000 on a car that's gonna do the exact same thing that a $30,000 car could do. Now, the $30,000 car that I'm gonna get is probably gonna be the most souped up version of a $30,000 car.
Yeah.
But that car is not gonna cost, like, shoes. I'm walking in these shoes. No, there's nothing else that's gonna happen in shoes other than walking. Maybe running.
But shoes are important.
Shoes are very important. So guess what? Get comfortable shoes.
Right. Not expensive. The
problem is $500 shoes aren't really that comfortable. They're just really expensive.
And you know what's also funny? I have a my car, I drive real I don't want to say carelessly, but I will run up on a curb and I'll, you know, maybe occasionally scratch by a bush or whatever. So my car has little dings on it. And my husband is quite particular and it really is frustrating to him. But it's almost like, I don't know how much joy. Let's say I did get a G-Wagon. I don't know. It might be too stressful because then I'd be worried about messing it up. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. And then, you know, material things. I'd get a G-Wagon. I would get a G-Wagon. I wouldn't get a red one. I would get like probably a white one with real dark tinted windows.
I'm hoping you get a G-Wagon for Christmas.
Ah!
Husband, if you're listening, G-Wagon. Get this lady a G-Wagon. She deserves it.
Yeah, and I'll be blasting Post Malone.
Speaking of
Oh, Steve.
Do people still listen to Post Malone?
I love Post Malone. I'm so late to the party on everything.
I like Better Now. Better Now was my Post Malone song, but he lost some people when he did that Doritos commercial.
Oh, they thought it was a sellout?
Yeah.
So
like culture vulturing kind of thing, but yeah.
I'm late to the party, and then I don't know, but yeah, Post Malone. I like Better Now. You like Sunflowers?
I like Better Now.
I like Wow.
Wow is cool. Wow is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you spoke about how your faith like plays a role in your comedy. Like how I know you mentioned like there's certain jokes like you just don't make because you want to make sure. But is there any other way to like your faith plays a role in the comedy that you make?
Well, I think that my faith just gives me the I don't want to say courage, but like I think because of my faith, I'm able to try and do, and if there are crickets and if I fall on my face and nobody laughs, who cares? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's not, maybe that's the blessing of not making a living doing comedy. But I guess my faith is where I find my joy. Like my joy is in Jesus Christ. And so I am so grateful for that I hope that out of the overflow, my joy would be attractive to others. And maybe that would somehow be a way to minister other than that. But I enjoy talking to like faith-based groups because that's my jam, you know?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question at all?
No, it totally does. No, it totally does. Like just even like the audiences that you choose to speak to. That's really dope. We actually have a comment from Miss Dejana Brown. Dewana Brown. So she says she said I had Dede come and do comedy at my mother and daughter's brunch, and unbeknownst to us, her mother would pass away a few weeks before. Even in her grief, she was able to bring laughter to so many people, even to herself. We cried and laughed. I am forever thankful to Dede.
I am forever thankful to her.
Oh,
it was the most special brunch. And Josetta Cobb brought the message. But anyway, so much healing took place. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. Yeah, we didn't know Mom was going during that time, but we moved forward, you know. To God be the glory.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You have such great energy. Like you really have really great energy. Some people just have really good energy. I'm trying to think of any questions.
I don't know. I mean, if anyone wants to follow me, I hate to shamelessly plug myself.
No, that's always my last question anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get there, but I just trying to make sure I have any other intermediate questions. Do you have any upcoming shows?
I do not. Not on the books. I did do something recently at Mex 1 on Sullivan's Island. Some gentlemen have started a comedy night. I believe it's either monthly or at some time. But anyway, it's Mex 1, and they've got a whole bunch of comedians, and that would be good if someone's interested. Check that out. I know there's an open mic on Wednesday nights at Purple Buffalo in North Charleston. Keith D is a great local comedian that facilitates shows, but I don't have anything on the books as yet that I'm aware of. I have to check, but nothing is coming to mind.
That's fine.
That will change.
Are you ever gonna go into like the whole, like, you know, a lot of people doing the YouTube videos and the like Facebook video skits and stuff? Have you ever thought about doing that?
I have thought about it. I've thought about more like vlogging, maybe, you know, like doing. I don't know how to do the TikToks. But anyway, I've thought about that. I've considered maybe doing that. I just haven't pulled the trigger on anything as yet.
What are you waiting for?
What else was I going to say? Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing to be waiting on except me and myself. There was something at Mex 1. That's what I was going to tell you. And this is what I learned too. And this is, you know, I'm no expert, but this is what I learned. So what I want to work on this year too. The other comedians were young men, I mean, decades younger than I. And so they were at a whole nother, you know, level in life and talking about different things. But yeah. This was the first time for me that I didn't just beat myself up and go, you're an idiot. Like I saw that there's an opportunity for me to hone that craft and get better, because I could have, what I took away from that instead of feeling dumb was, okay, I'm going to figure out how to transition and shift gears based on who the audience is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I could have done that, I think, had I don't know. I'm thankful for that experience, because I was like, all right.
Yeah, because if
You
you're
know what I
speaking to
mean?
like a group of college kids about like
Yeah.
mom stuff, then we're like,
No, man, I was yelling about. I was like, anybody got the elf on the shelf? Elf on the shelf? And they're like,
elf on the shelf.
yeah,
Anybody.
pretty much. Anybody, you got an elf? Anybody got kids? Anybody got a child? Any family member? Yeah, I mean, and it was like,
You got a grandmother.
you know what I mean? Somebody, can I get another margarita? I was like, oh.
But I mean, I think, but then you can like shift it to like, you know, your college years or
Absolutely.
whatever. So yeah, I think, but that's how you grow in comedy. Like, it's like a lot of comedians, you know, and I don't know your age, and I didn't ask, so I'm not gonna do that because
20.
don't ask it.
No.
23, exactly. When I was 23, you know, but
Yes.
Paul Mooney, I think about like Paul Mooney and like people like that who actually got started at older age, at different ages, and like the way they like grew and seasoned their like being able to reach those different audiences. So that's pretty cool that you're already starting to do that. I mean, considering you only started doing comedy in 2012, that's only 9 years ago.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know, but I feel like too. I was watching another interview. Somebody was interviewing Martin Short, and he was saying that he remember, you know, when he did interviews and shows and things like that, not to be nervous because people wanted to laugh and people were there to support him. So what I'm trying to get at with that point is I sometimes will let nerves and fear get in there. And so I feel like if I can just really settle that down, then I'll have the ability to assess. And so I guess it's building confidence and be able to assess, all right, listen, there's nobody my age in this piece. And you know what I mean? And so anyway, but I like that. I think that that's it. There's confidence and practice, which I need to do more of. But anyway, so yeah. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of yours. And if you ever decide to do like a live recording or anything like that, if you ever decide to do a live recording or anything like that, make sure I'm invited. I will be there. I will bring 4 friends, and we will.
Well, you bring
we will.
Yeah,
laugh.
your friend. Oh, Rajan, I am crazy about you. Thank you for all that you do, all you're doing. Oh my gosh, what a leader! Oh, Rajan, I could go on. I could cry. I'm just privileged to know you and just grateful that you asked me to come on and spend some time chatting.
It's any time, and if you like, if the, you know, Comedy Central does call and you get your G-Wagon, hey, shoot me a call. We can ride out, listen to some Post Malone.
Yeah, we listen to the old Posty. There's what's the one my son and I listen to, and it's
Macklemore.
Oh, I like that one too. Guess that's probably old also. Doggone it, just escaped me. Oh, I'm not too good at goodbyes. Me and Kirk are the same. That one. Too much pleasure with pain. Anyway, so yeah.
Post Malone. So how can they find you on social media?
Okay, I'm on Instagram at a Daily Dose of Dede, and then also Facebook, Dede Bishop Kennedy, and I have a website, and it is ddbkennedy.com. ddbkennedy.com. Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to get to?
No, I'm just thankful.
You did great. I enjoyed this interview.
Thank you.
You are an amazing human being.
You are.
I definitely enjoyed. I like your energy. Is just good to have people with good energy. If you, I'll go ahead and put this out there. If you want to hire Dede to come out and just have good energy at your event, like I'm pretty sure she has a rate for that. Like to come out.
I mean, it'd probably be like a rate. Might even just be in food and Little Debbie's or something like that. I mean, it's simple. I don't have a big rider yet. G-Wagon.
G-Wagon, just buy me a G-Wagon. And then
let me ride it.
If you have a G-Wagon, I will just ride in your G-Wagon and give you positive energy.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Yes, here for it. Well, thank you so much, Dede. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. It's been amazing. And like I said, if you have anything that comes up that you want to come back on and talk, or anything, like please, like once you come on the show, you're a friend of the show. When we have our community forums and stuff, please call in. We'd love to hear your thoughts, even to provide, like, a lot of times, I never told anybody this, but I think something I want to tell you is that there are a lot of times I have topics like these, like forums about like really serious topics. And it'd be good to have somebody to come in and, like, if you got some material, bring it.
That would be awesome.
Like when we were talking about the insurrection,
yeah,
give us all your insurrection jokes. Like, run them out there. Let's see what we can do. You know why? Because not like you can see if people are laughing at you.
Right.
So you don't know if you're bombing or killing.
That's right. Just throw them out there.
Throw them out there like that. I think that's a dub. I think that's all dubs.
I think it is. That's it. That's the gold right there. That's the gold.
Well, thank you so much, Dede. I'm going to go ahead and close. So give me 1 second.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Dede. Thank you to Dede Bishop Kennedy for coming on. Comedian, great person, awesome Christian. Like, I mean, did you not enjoy her energy? I thought her energy was phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of Post Malone like that, but we'll let it go. If you enjoyed the show tonight, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed tonight's show, please make sure you go to my website. That's www.realtalkwithrajan.com. Check out some other episodes. Go to my YouTube page. Subscribe. I need some more subscribers. I am way too dope to have 280 followers. Listen, go follow me. Not because, do it because Dede said so.
All right, follow us. Do it. Subscribe. Email.
Thank you so much. And this and all of my shows is now available for your listening pleasure via any place you can find podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pandora. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find my podcast. If you want to find out or follow me on social media, I'm really easy to find. You go to any website and type in Real Talk Rajan, and I'm going to pop up. And if I don't pop up there, chances are I'm not going to pop up there. So don't look for me there. If you're on Clubhouse, follow me on Clubhouse. I host a room every Sunday night, which is called What About the Kids? And every week we have a different theme where we talk about something related to youth and youth advocacy. So join us there. Join me next week. I actually have 2 guests next week. I have Miss Rachel Cobb, who was supposed to be on a couple weeks ago, but we had to reschedule. And then we're also having Dr. Wes Bellamy, who is a phenomenal human being. He's from South Carolina, but he's actually a city councilman in Charlottesville, Virginia. So y'all know what happened there a few years ago. So we're going to have him on talking about that. A lot of great things, a lot of great people, a lot of great times. But I want to thank y'all again for watching. You don't have to do this, but you do. And I value that. I don't take it for granted. Always remember, God is everything. Without him, we are nothing. So never forget where your help comes from. And if a man doesn't stand for something, he's bound to fall for anything. Now that is Real Talk. I will see y'all on Tuesday night. Peace.